Major breaking news. The odds of a government shutdown next week just skyrocketed after Democrats said they will not vote to keep the government open unless ICE's budget is cut. Major.
Man, we are so cooked, man. We are so cooked. We all is worried about this big storm that's gonna hit Texas. And make no mistake, I've been following the models every day for about a week now, but the last couple of days I've been really following it. Actually, I was up really early this morning looking at it like 4 in the morning. We are cooked down here in Texas. We are cooked. And on top of that, guys, you guys know we are 9 days from another possible government shutdown, which means another shutdown, which means they could be cutting off SNAP benefits. Once again, when they do these government shutdowns, man, and they can't come to an agreement on certain stuff, they make the American people suffer for what's going on, just like they did back in November. The longest government shutdown in U.S. history, 43 days, guys. So what do you guys think going to happen during this government shutdown? It could go 53 days, 63 days. It could be for the rest of the year, guys. So we have to really, man, make sure that we are preparing ourselves. And I know it's hard for people to prepare themselves for what could possibly happen in the next 8 or 9 days with a possible government shutdown, on top of trying to stock up on supplies from this horrible winter storm that's about to hit us out here in Texas. I think 35 states is gonna get hit. And you gotta remember, there's 50 states in the United States. 35 of those states is gonna get hit. That only leaves 15 states in the United States that won't get hit.
Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to our Heavenly Father, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Kakadash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings, salutations as always to the hopeful elect. So coming up on another government shutdown, and now the next 5 days, and we've been warning through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai that look, this devil Esau Edom, he's really coming down with great wrath. All right, and we all saw what happened back in November with the longest government shutdown. It really happened at the end of October for the whole month of November. I believe it went into like the first week of December or something like that. You know what I'm saying? But point is, the government was shut down for a long time, and people, they wasn't getting their benefits. Government workers, they wasn't getting paid, and it was just a mess. All right, and you gotta keep in mind as well that these devils, they're accelerating everything. This shit with the AI, with the surveillance, with the police state going on. All right, so they gave you a taste of it back in November, and the fact that they let it rock out for that long, for 40 something days, man, that shows you that they really don't give a shit about the people. All right, the Esau, he's not for you Americans, and quite frankly, he wants to do away with most of you any damn way. Okay, that's why he about to set up martial law. He's giving ICE full immunity to bust you upside the head with no consequences. You see what I'm saying? So these devils, man, you know what I'm saying, they don't give a shit about you Americans, you Babylonians, man. All right, but they make you believe that they do, so that they can gain your trust, so that you lay down. All right, but I can very well see Esau letting this one ride out indefinitely. You see, and brothers were warning of this back in November, that there will be another one come at the end of January. And see, this is why you should, really get close to Yahweh Bashim Shai, man, because these devils already showed you that when worst come to worst, they not gonna be there to help you. That they gonna let you starve, they gonna let you pretty much rot, man. All right, so with this one coming up in the next 5 days, they still haven't pushed through the necessary bills to keep it open. Now they're saying that because of the whole ICE situation, the shooting that happened this past weekend out there in Minneapolis, that they not gonna push the bill through. So pretty much telling you that there's about to be another shutdown coming. which this one is going to be a disaster. All right, it's in the middle of winter. It's cold as hell outside. You know, they're saying more snow to come, this coming weekend as well. Okay, so this is just not a good time for this. And these devils know what the hell that they doing, man. Because this happens every single time. Every time they just kick the can down the road, kick it down the road until when it comes time, within a week to open back up the government to pass something through, they always stall. It always comes to this point to where the government is on the brink of collapse. You see what I'm saying? And we also know that there's a financial great reset that's coming. Silver is now going past $100. You know what I'm saying? Gold is now past $5,000 an ounce. You see? They're implementing more of the AI, so they don't need as many people to work in the government. More layoffs are coming. All right, so we're in the midst of that great reset, man. But let's go here to this article. All right, this is from CNN. The odds why Saturday's shooting might increase likelihood of a partial government shutdown. All right, and if this government gets shut down again in the dead of winter, you already know what's gonna happen, man. All right, it's going to be a lot of crime. It's going to be a lot of looting. You see what I'm saying? It's going to be home invasions, just like what you saw back in November. The same very stuff was going on, you see? And I believe that they opened back up the government for the holidays so these corporations, like, they could get their last season of revenue coming in, because they know they about to crash this dollar. So they was like, you know what, let's just open it back up for the holiday season so we can get this little bit of money. Then y'all can do what y'all want to do after that. Because notice a lot of these corporations, they're closing down shop as well, man. So all of this is very convenient timing. All right, but hey, this thing is coming in 5 days.
This morning, Democrats in the Senate say they will not vote for this new huge funding package because it includes funding for the Department of Homeland Security. This is in the wake of what's been going on in Minneapolis. If enough Democrats vote against it, it means a government shutdown. With us now, CNN Chief Data Analyst Harry Etten. So what are the chances right now that there will be a government shutdown?
Very high, and they've become significantly higher after the events in Minneapolis this past weekend. I mean, just take a look here. Chance of a government shutdown this Saturday. Start this Saturday. You go back to late last week, it was only 8%. But after the events, after the shooting this weekend in Minneapolis, now we're talking about nearly a 4 in 5 shot, 79% chance of a shutdown. The folks who are putting their money where their mouth is believe.
And keep in mind, this is CNN. Okay, so this is a primetime propaganda news channel, man. So if they on here talking about some now, there's a 79% chance of they being a government shutdown. More than likely, that's what's gonna happen. Okay, and we know that Esau, this is what he wants. On top of all the chaos, confusion, and turmoil that's happening on American soil, this government shutdown is only going to make things worse, man. Okay, we know that they want to bring in this, the Palantir, this digital surveillance system. So this is all necessary means to an end for these devils.
After the events this past weekend in Minneapolis, that the Democrats will in fact stand firm and they will not allow the government to fund DHS.
So more and more Senate Democrats came out over the last 48 hours saying they would vote against this. Why?
Why? Because just take a look. Look at ICE's, the Democrats who disapprove of ICE. In 2018, during Trump term number 1, it was 69%. You go to the middle of last year, 89%. Now, 95% of Democrats disapprove of ICE. And again, this goes back to why there's this belief that the Democrats will, in fact, cut off the funding or try to cut off the funding and allow for a government shutdown.
You see, and also, I remember doing a lesson about 2 weeks ago where Trump, he pretty much already came out and said that he won't be funding come February 1st, that he won't be funding the blue states, the Democratic states. All right, and the fact that you have 95% of the Democrats in the House disapprove of ICE and the way that Trump is handling it. All right, well, this would justify, put this on D&D, this would justify Trump not funding the blue states because now they're so-called against him and his policies, okay? So look, we tell you, man, through the spirit, all this left-right, Democrat, Republican bullshit, this is all to forward, the agenda of the elites. You know what I'm saying? This is all of what it's about. Okay? They're working together to crash America, to crash Babylon the Great. You see what's going on.
Because their base, 95% disapprove of ICE. And John, we were talking about it late last week, right? What do Democrats want? They want folks to fight. They want their Congress folks to fight against the President of the United States. Because just take a look here. Dems who say that congressional Dems do too little to oppose Trump. Early last year, it was 73%. Now it is 78%. Democrats in the electorate want their representatives in Congress to fight against Donald Trump, and they especially want them to do it on this particular issue where we see Democrats who disapprove of Trump up to nearly a uniformity. We're talking about 19 out of 20, 95% of Democrats who disapprove of
This is what Democrats want, and that matters, right? Obviously matters what Republicans want, too. They've been largely supportive of President Trump. But the group in the middle that may matter the most in the midterms is independents. What are they saying?
Yeah, okay. So, you see this figure right here. You see the chance of a shutdown up like a rocket, right? We're talking 79%. And you say, okay, Democrats, 95%, but will there be any backlash from the middle of the electorate? I don't think so, because take a look here. Independents who disapprove of ICE. In Trump term number one, basically at this point, it was 39%. Then it was up to 64% by the middle of last year. Now 70%. 70%, 7 in 10 independents disapprove of ICE. If there is a time in which independents, I think, would be okay with a government shutdown, it would be in this one if it's about funding of ICE, because the bottom line is...
And the president probably sees that number. He's making some of these moves to try to mitigate the situation there. Harriet, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Joe.
Yeah, so basically, when this government shutdown occurs, they're going to blame it on the Democrats, all right? But guess what? They're going to blame it on the Democrats, but both the Democrats and the Republicans are going to suffer behind this, okay? So neither side is doing nothing for you Americans, man. Like, this is all just confusion, just back and forth rhetoric to demonize the other side. Meanwhile, nothing's getting done, okay? Meanwhile, they sending billions of dollars to the Israelis, okay? They funding ICE with billions of dollars to, crack down on you Americans' rights. They're destroying the job market. They're decreasing the value of the dollar. You having to work harder and get paid less. You know what I'm saying? So, the point is nothing is getting better. All right, things are only getting worse. And this left-right divide is only going to further that. All right, so let's get a scripture. Let's go to Sirach 10. Sirach 10 and 1 at the top. A wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. So a wise judge, right, which Esau, he's not a wise judge. You know what I'm saying? Esau, he's a wicked judge, okay? Because all that he's forwarding in the earth, especially in America, is nothing but wickedness, man. You see? Will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. It's showing you that this devil, he's not prudent, man, nor is he wise, okay? The scriptures, in the book of Job, it calls, it calls the Edomites children of fools, children of base men. All right. So the basest man rules over the whole of the planet Earth, man. And look how chaotic that the earth is under his rule. Proverbs 29 and 2 say, when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. All right. And guess what? It's more mourning to come. Verse 2, as the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. And what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. All right, so that's why you see these Babylonians, they also bugged out because they're following after the ruler. He's a damn psychopath. He's a damn murderer. He's a damn thief, a liar. Okay, so I'm saying that's why all these people here, they're all just a reflection of the ruler, which is Esau. Verse 3, an unwise king, which is Esau, destroyeth his people. But through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. Now, what does it mean to rule with prudence? Let's go into that real quick, right? To be prudent. Prudence, the quality of being prudent, cautiousness, wisdom, caution, right? So Esau, he has no wisdom, okay? He's not cautious at all. Like, he's very impulsive, you know what I'm saying? Anything that comes to his mind, he just do it, which ultimately we understand that it's the Lord putting a battery in his devil's back to do what he's doing, But nonetheless, he's still destroying his own people. You know what I'm saying? Because all these Edomites under the regime of Trump, they all losing. Okay? Verse 4, the power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable, which is Yahweh Shai in the 144. You know what I'm saying? That's who needs to rule over the earth so that things can be set back in order. Because right now, under this devil, everything is what? Out of order. Okay? Everybody's confused. Everybody's mourning. You know what I'm saying? People are wanting to off themselves, man. This is what happens when the wicked bear rule. And this government shutdown, this is nothing more than him, you know what I'm saying, pretty much devising more mischief, more evil. You know what I'm saying? When you get Psalms 36, you know, devising more wickedness, man. Psalms 36, in verse 1 at the top, to the chief musician, a psalm of David, the servant of the Lord. The transgression of the wicked saith within my heart, that there is no fear of Yahweh before his eyes. For he flattereth himself in his own eyes until his iniquity be found to be hateful. The words of his mouth are iniquity and deceit. He hath left off to be wise and to do good. He deviseth mischief upon his bed. He setteth himself in a way that is not good. He abhorreth not evil. And that's Esau. Okay? He continuously devises mischief. When you read in Psalms, the 64th chapter, it tells you about the secret counsel of the wicked. You know? How in Micah, you know what I'm saying, that it is in the power of their hand, you know what I'm saying, to do these evil things, to devise this iniquity. This is what they bring forth on the earth. And with this government shutdown, among many other things, all these protests and ICE, you know what I'm saying, that you see going on, this is all to forward their mischief, you see? And they continuously lie to you, sell you these, you know, BS narratives, all right, going into how the words of his mouth are iniquity and deceit to, you know, rock you back to sleep. But those that are awake in this time, you know, very well see the agenda at play here, okay? When you get Psalms, what is that, Psalms 108. Yeah, because, you know what I'm saying, this man despised the poor, which the poor are really the Israelites is speaking of, but even down to the poor of his own people, you know what I'm saying, the poor Edomites, he don't give a shit about them either. Because really, truth be told, it's really most of them that receive the SNAP benefits and government benefits, Section 8. Really, they get most of that. You know what I'm saying? They just like to put Jake out there as the face of it, but it's really Edomites that receive most of these government benefits. And you saw that back in November with all them TikToks and videos that was coming out on social media of Edomites complaining about how they don't know how they're going to pay their rent. They don't know how they're going to, you know, eat. They don't know how they're going to get to work, put gas in their car. Why? Because they was the main ones that was suffering from not getting those benefits. Even the farmers, you know what I'm saying? A lot of them Edomite farmers, man, they wasn't getting no benefits from the government. So when they shut this thing down again, it's about to be super bad, man. Especially if they let this one drag out longer than the last one. This is Psalms 108. I said Psalms 108. Psalms 10. Salakia. Psalms 10 and 4. The wicked through the pride of his countenance will not seek after Yahweh. Yahweh is not in all his thoughts. His ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them. He has said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. His mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. Verse 8, he sitteth in the lurking places of the villages. In the secret places doth he murder the innocent. His eyes are privily set against the poor. And see, when you threaten to take away benefits from the poor, man, that's you abhorring the poor. That's you hating the poor, which I got to quantify again. The poor, it really refers to the Israelites, but even down to the poor in general, just the poor of his own people. You know what I'm saying? Esau don't give a shit. Verse 9, he lieth in wait secretly as a lion in his den. He lieth in wait to catch the poor. He doth catch the poor when he draweth him into his net. He croucheth and humbleth himself that the poor may fall by his strong ones. He has said in his heart, Yahweh hath forgotten. He hideth his face. He will never see it. So this devil believes that he's above judgment. You know what I'm saying? Like he believes he's going to do all this wicked shit and he going to get off and he ride right off into the sunset. But It ain't gonna happen. Okay, judgment is already prescribed for Esau, and he knows his time is coming. That's why he's coming down with this great wrath. That's why he's about to crash the economy. He's about to shut down the government. You know what I'm saying? He's taking away the jobs. Everything that he's doing, causing famines, creating new diseases, man. All this is his great wrath. You know what I'm saying? Revelation 12:12. Because he knows that his time is up, so he gonna go out with a bang. You know, so I'm gonna go ahead and close out right there, Lord willing. This lesson was edifying through the Rakakadash. Call Lord Yahweh Bashmel Shai, Bashim Rakakadash. And until next time, shalom to the elect.